How do we unmute everybody now? Oh God.
I don't know if anyone is in.
You know how to unmute yourself. Please do so now if you'd like.
Unmuted myself.
Thank you. Hi, Robin.
Hey.
Taylor, can you unmute it?
Taylor, help.
Oh. Unmute what?
Oh, never mind.
I've just done that.
Took it off.
Okay,
tissue.
That's called to unmute. Okay.
I just unmuted us.
So the little red microphone icon at the left-hand side of your screen, if you guys click that, if it's red for you, you can click it and unmute yourself if you'd like to say a few words after Aaron and I. Okay. So I'd like to share a few words from Aaron and I on behalf of our dad. Nobody is perfect, and our dad was no exception. He could be stubborn, quick-tempered, or just loud, and he made mistakes. But for all these qualities, he had so much good. He was not someone who could be easily forgotten. We've known people to meet him once and remembered him for years after one interaction. And he loved to make people laugh, and he always left an impression. He was charismatic, fun, and loving. As a kid, he seemed like an indestructible superhero, and as an adult, a best friend. Though he's gone physically, we still hear his voice in our heads all the time. Sometimes it's to guide us with words of encouragement. Others is to annoy and pester us like we love to do so much. But we do hear him, and that brings us comfort. We love you always, Dad. So at this point, we'd like to open it up to family first, if any family would like to speak, and then after for friends. On a volunteer basis.
I muted everybody again.
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm not unmuting. I don't fucking know. Where's Nana?
Oh, there's Nana. Okay, so it looks like everybody's still muted.
I muted everybody again, so if you can unmute yourself, family first, and just
Right, there you go.
figure out what you got a little bit and just open dialogue, and then we'll close out. But I'm not going to say too much, but I want to thank you guys all for coming. I want to thank Ray for making that beautiful video. And yeah, I mean, this is what Dad wanted, so thanks.
I think that it's always difficult these times. Now there's some people on the screen that I know. Peter Grove I haven't spoken to or seen for seems like 150 years, but you know I see your brother Bruce not too long ago. But you know it's people. You know it brings everybody together. I think that Alan, as Ray said, and Aaron. He was a pain in the ass. It's got to be said. You know, he was stubborn, but very much like he took after my dad. My dad was exactly the same. But you know, he was you know when he was growing up, he was he had glasses and he was in a position where he would have to use his fists a lot, and that was down to Dad as well, like pushing him, and he got into trouble when he was younger, like many of us. But you know, he met Maxine, married Maxine, and that didn't really quieten him down as such. It wasn't until we met Rhonda, it seemed like that, you know, that it was a calming influence on him. Now, that was, you know, he had 2 lovely kids, Aaron and Ray.
Nice
which was good. It was good. It was a great thing in his life. It was. And everything was going great. And then, you know, Alan being Alan, the demons took over a little bit, and that's the way it was. You know, but he was always there for his family. That was the thing that I'd say. Yeah, he had a big heart. He always had time for you. He'd always, you know, chat to anyone. It was, you know, and as I say, you know, he never lost that annoyance. He was always like a toothache sometimes, but in the best possible way. And I miss him. I think we all do.
That's right.
Yeah, we miss him. Thanks. That was really well said.
No, Tim Jeffries, don't you?
Where's Tim Jeffrey?
Tim Jeffrey.
Tim Jeffries.
Hi, I'm Tim Jeffrey. Probably not very many of you know who I am. I used to hang out with Alan when he was a teenager, and this is a very unfortunate event. So I felt I had to come and at least say how sorry I am that Alan is no longer with us. I have a lot of really good memories with him, but it was a long time ago.
You didn't marry with him now, Tim Jeffrey.
You might want to talk to Peter Grove because he's in our zone of knowing him from way back. But I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'll never forget Alan. He was a good man. Helped me out a lot. It's about, you know, it's just unfortunate. I'm sorry that he's not here.
We are too. Thank you.
I'm very grateful that I got to meet Uncle Alan for everything when I know Ashley was very grateful as well to be able to finally meet him. He's a lovely guy, and I am so sad that I didn't get to know him any more than what we did. I know Ashley tried to get into the Zoom call, and I know we both said how I used to speak to him on Facebook, but I wish we could have known him more, and it's heartbreaking. I'm really sorry.
Love you, Robin. Thank you.
I love you too.
I think the one thing that he would be annoyed about is how solemn this sounds. It does sound really solemn, and that's not how he was. You know, I know that it's a sad time, but equally, it's to celebrate his life as well. You know, it's talking about, you know, the things that he did, what he got up to. Well, half the things we couldn't say what he got up to, but you know, I think that, you know, it's got to go past that. You know, he's got to, you know, we all know how much he's loved and everything else, but it's just, you know, bringing that joy that he did bring to people as well. You know, he was larger than life, and you knew that when he was in the room. Certainly, he'd make a. So, you know, it's not all about, you know, the sad. It's about, you know, what he actually brought to people's lives, really.
Yeah. He wouldn't want us to be this sad. I know he wouldn't.
No, but no.
Not at all.
And he would want to hear stories of times when he was in it, which was often. If anybody wants to share a story, a fond memory of a time when you had fun with our dad, or something like that, that would be more than welcome too.
Well, needless to say, can anybody hear me? You can
Yes.
hear me? Okay. There's a couple of people that want to get in. Brandon's trying to get in, if you can accept him. And then
Yes.
another friend of his that he met within the last couple of years, Iris. But I don't know if you see that there. But anyways, I mean, I've known Alan since before you guys were born, since I think 1980. He actually lived with me, I guess, the last, what, 15, 16 years. And, you know, it wasn't until I actually saw that video that I just broke down and started crying, because, I mean, it just, like you say, he was bigger than life and you never thought he would go. And I mean, even though ever since he came back from the hospital in November, even then he was still trying to do his thing. You know, he still wanted to go to the pub, still wanted to have his beer, still wanted to, you know, drink and carouse and do the Allen thing, you know. And he was an amazing guy. And I mean, so many people called me and, you know, said, you know, again, he doesn't want to hear the negative stuff, you know, that he's gone and all that, but just, you know, what a great guy he was. That, you know, as soon as he showed up at the pub, you know, the whole place just lit up. And yeah, he was a pain in the ass and he'd get into it with a bunch of people. And but that's what everybody loved about him in some ways. You know, he was who he was and he didn't try to hide it. And you know, he lived every day to the fullest. There's no doubt about that. You know, he to the very end, you know, it's like I tried to encourage him to be healthy and all this kind of thing, and he says, yeah, I'm gonna stop drinking, I'm gonna stop this. And you know, Aaron came by and we found he had drank every last bit of tequila. In the end, you know, he went out the way he wanted to go out. And you know, we all loved him and we still love him. And like you say, I mean, even my cup of English tea that I've got in front of me here, you know, I learned how to make it from him. You know, he turned so many people on to so many things, you know, like Ray was saying with the music and everything else. You know, it's everybody's gonna have memories. He was bigger than life. I mean, you look at pictures of him when he was young, you know, he was like a superhero kind of guy, especially to his family. And you know, in the end, he changed quite a bit, but then again, he didn't. He was still ornery and difficult, and you know, it was his way or the highway. But you know, we all loved him in our own way. And you know, like I tell everybody, I mean, hey, he went out, he didn't suffer for months and months and months. He just did it his way. And you know, rest in peace. That's all I can say. I love you, man. You know. It's really hard. Anyway.
You know, my dad loved you very much. You're like a brother. Thanks for looking for him all those years.
I'll tell you, it was, you know, it was a pain in the ass, but you know, when he wasn't here and you didn't hear all the noise and all the belly aching and everything, it became very quiet and, you know, sad. But that's the way it is right now. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We feel that hole too. Yeah, we feel that he's the space that he left behind. But you know, like I said, I hear his voice all the time. I hear him say, "What are you, stupid?" Like, are you fucking stupid? It's just like playing on repeat. And then sometimes I hear, you got to make a left here. You know, I always like a chauffeur, you know, when I come and get him from your house and take him to dinner, take him.
Oh, he was the biggest backseat driver of them all. Yeah.
Pain in my ass. And he used to know that it would annoy me, and he'd point, you make a left here. I fucking know where you live. He'd wait to get a reaction. Poke, poke, and poke, and poke. But that was our dad, you know. So I still hear that like replays, you know, and we carry him in our hearts, and it makes me feel like he's not too far away.
Yeah.
Can I go next? This is Jim Snover.
Yeah, please.
I'm Jim Snover. I worked with Alan for the last 5 or 6 years. I was his manager, and a couple things from a work standpoint. Alan had quite the command of the English language, and he was excellent at writing technical documents. And he actually got our certification. It's an aviation certification called AS9100. We were the first company in the world to get that certification, and it was responsible of Alan leading that activity. And we talk about that all the time, and we came through it with not a single fine, wasn't one single issue in our certification. On a personal note from Alan, he was always laughing, telling jokes. And I know he had a love of sushi. And several years ago, we were down at one of the sushi places here in Anaheim Hills called Yosuke. And I saw him sitting at the bar by himself, and I was with my wife and another couple. And I told the waitress, I said, you know, when he's done, you know, just bring me the bill. And she looked at me and she goes, are you sure you want to do that? and I'm like, oh, no, bring it on over. And she shows me the bill, and I said, can I just put the tip on that? he had a love of sushi. Another thing is that he went on a business trip over to England several years ago, and he was down in the Gatwick area. He was doing some training, and I always wanted to be over in England with Alan. I think would have had a great time. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it at the same time. I have friends that live in you in England will know Bishop Stortford, and my bus went right directly from Heathrow up to Bishop Stortford, and we weren't able to connect, but we were within a few miles of each other in England, and it makes me sad we weren't able to make that connection. But Alan was, he was a friend. He wasn't just a coworker, he was absolutely a friend. And, you know, every time he'd go down to Peru, he would bring me back some gift. He did that for a lot of people. He brought gifts back constantly. And I said, Alan, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. He goes, yes, I know. Some of the gifts were big. He brought back like the largest freshwater fish in the world, a wood carving of it. You know, it's very large. I have it in my bar right now. But yeah, I'm gonna miss his jokes and his laughing. And yes, where we had his rub is he was stubborn, and I kept telling him how stubborn he was. What do you mean? I said, just you don't have to be so stubborn. But he was a great guy, and I'm really, really gonna miss him. He was a lot of fun. Thank you.
He's very proud of that certification too. I think I heard about it 1,000 times.
He never shut up about it. He was
First
a
in the
crowning
world.
moment.
Every time we went over there.
Yes, it absolutely was. We were the first one. Alan led that entire activity, and we were the first of all companies, not just aviation, all companies around the world. We were the first ones to get that certification.
Big achievement. He was very proud of that. Thank you so much for sharing all that, Jim.
For those who we just admitted, sorry we're new with the Zoom thing, so we lagged on some of you guys, but we did a little presentation, but this is kind of a loose format thing. So anyone who wants to just chime in and share stories, we're going to try and be a little bit more positive. Ray and I are.
Can I go next?
Yes, please.
Can I go next?
Yes, please. Yeah, Connie.
Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. My name is Connie Smith, and I'm a consultant that I've worked very closely with the organization that Alan has worked for many years, and to the transitions of the different purchases, he was always there. And although we didn't see Alan every single day, like some of the team members that he worked with on a daily basis, we did see Alan quite a bit. And I'm originally from Italy. I was born and raised in Sicily, so we had a lot in common, you know, being in the fact that we're from the Europe side. So he would talk about England, I would talk about Sicily, and all the good things that we had coming into the country, into the United States. But Alan was one of those that you knew exactly where you stood. There isn't any, you know, you have some people that you kind of guess whether or not, you know, where you stand, you know, what their thoughts are, or do you think that about this? You didn't have to worry about that with Alan, because everything that Alan said to you that's where you stood, whether you liked it or not. He was as honest as it could be, just because of his way of approaching life. He lived life to the fullest. He enjoyed it, you know, taking shortcuts, not taking shortcuts, whatever it was. He was always there to be able to live his life the way he wanted to live it, the way he thought it was the best way that he could enjoy life to his fullest. As for his kids, he absolutely adored his kids. I mean, there wasn't one opportunity to where I wouldn't be in his office for whatever reason, and he wouldn't be showing you pictures of his kids, you know, and all the activities and things that he would have with his daughter in Peru, with his son Ray Ray and his son Aaron, and all the things that he was so proud of you guys, you know. And I was just a stranger, you know. I wasn't, you know, an everyday person at the company. I wasn't, you know, somebody that was involved as far as his, you know, a friend, you know, a real close friend or anything. But for him to be able to share that with me and that connection, I just absolutely love it. And honestly, when I got the news from Jim, it was just heartbreaking for me, because I've known him for so long, you know, that honestly, it's not going to be real until we walk in and then he's not there anymore. So it's difficult. I lost my father in September, so my heart goes out to you guys. And we're here to support you guys. Stay strong, keep his memory alive, keep him with you close, because he'll never go away. He'll never go away. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Peter, you had your hand up. Do you want to share something? Oh wait, let me see.
You're muted
You're
though.
muted, yeah. Everybody got muted again somehow.
It's like manually doing it.
No, that's probably me doing it.
Or it's Aaron.
I don't know how to unmute people though.
There we go. How about that? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but we can't see you. Oh, there you go.
There we are. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not doing so good myself. I'm getting old, as we all are, and yeah, just falling apart around the seams. I probably met Alan here in 1964, I'm guessing, back when I was a young kid in judo, and I knew Alan for probably a good 10 years on the mat, and it was always competition. We never hung out, you know, after school. We never buddied after judo, but we were, well, I would say at least 10 years on the mat together. But I didn't get to really socialize with Alan until I got to San Diego back in 1980. And I'd met Alan in England, I think in 79, and he told me he'd got married to some girl in Yorba Linda, LA. And I said, well, I'm out in California, I'll meet you there. Boy, did we have some fun there. There was a couple of good stories. One in particular, I'd met him about 9 years after we got off the mat. I probably hadn't done judo in that 9 years, and so we got together and we socialized around LA. We had a few bars, and I think that's when drinking and driving was legal. We proceeded to do a bunch of bar hops, and we ended up driving across a medium. I was driving my car, and Alan and me were just doing our thing. I think we were drinking in the car. And so we went across the median and I ripped my fuel line out. So we came to a stop and we managed to get it to a garage. And Alan's all drunk. I'm all drunk. We're in this garage. I climb under the car to go fix it. I'm as greasy as hell. And Alan's staggered off. I fixed the car an hour later. Alan's not anywhere to be seen. So I go back to the first bar we'd started off at, and I'm sitting there having a drink. I'm full of grease, totally drunk, disheveled, yeah, just disheveled and just a mess. Alan comes walking in. He'd managed to roll down a big mud hill somewhere, and he was full of mud. So we're both sitting in this bar. He's full of mud, and I'm full of grease. And boy, yeah. So the last time I saw him was when on my 50th birthday. So it's a shame that he's left us at this stage, and gonna miss him. So anyway, nice to see all you guys.
It's weird.
I think you're muted.
What's that?
No, Aaron and Ray Ray are muted. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but
You were whispering
okay, that's better.
Let's see.
Jacqueline Longhurst raised hands.
Let's do that. Jacqueline, can you hear me?
Can I go next?
Yes.
So my name's Albert. I work with the same company, the same consulting firm that Connie works for. She's my boss. I had the pleasure of actually being on site more often than Connie, so I got to work with your dad real closely. He was a great guy. He actually had a big impact on my life. He was one of the biggest characters there was. I just want to tell you real quickly about the first day I met him. So I was still relatively new to AQM, which is our company. And so normally what we do, we go in, we work with the quality manager, quality director, which was Alan at the time. And I remember I was trying to fill Alan out just to see what his personality was like, see how he was. And I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of break the ice. So I was requesting a specific report from him, and typically you'll request 3 or 4 or 5 of them. And as a joke, I said, "Hey, Alan, can you get me 20 of these reports?" And so Alan, when he wanted to kind of intimidate somebody, he had this way of using his glasses where he would put them down a little bit and look over the glasses at you. So when I asked him for that, he put his glasses down and he looked at me. He said, "Go fuck yourself, son." So right then, when he said that, I knew we were going to get along. Throughout the years, I always looked forward to my visits. He made Zodiac one of my favorite clients to go to and work with. There's a lot of stuff. I loved seeing his interaction with people and auditors. It was always an interesting experience. And I always couldn't wait to see what he would say next. There's a lot of stories I could tell. I don't want to tell him on here just to preserve his memory, but your dad was a great guy. He talked about you guys a lot. He had your pictures in his office. He had his daughter's pictures in his office. He would always talk about his restaurant, going back down there and all that. So it was just an honor to work with somebody like that and to just be around somebody like that. So I just wanted to thank you guys for that experience and thank you guys for inviting me to this.
Thanks for the story, man. That's fun. That's good. That's who he was.
Jacqueline, do you want to say something? I see the little hand icon.
No, es Clarisa, no sé. No, es Clarisa también.
Do you want me to go next?
Yeah,
Sure, thanks, Sean,
anyone.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I worked with your dad when I moved over from the UK. We worked in Brea and Diamond Bar. And like you say, he was a complete ass. He thought he knew everything. And and he always questioned my ability. And I knew I was better than him, and I told him. And then we would argue for about an hour, throw toys at each other, and then we go and have sushi on a Friday. And that was my first experience of sushi. And your dad would eat anything as long as it was swimming. And we used to go down to a little dive at the end by Diamond Bar. And the guy always had something hideous in the tank, and he would always get some. We'd always have a few hundred slices of it. It cost us a fortune. And our bill, I'm going back now 10 years, must have been 150 for lunch, just on sushi. But it was free. And when my son came over, he was involved as well, because he came over from England. And it was up to 200 then. It was a fortune, but we had some good times. And I just always found I had to tell him that he was wrong occasionally, just to put him in line, to make sure he was not too cocky. And but he came from London, so he didn't know any better, really, in many respects. So I did the best I could. It was an education for him mainly, and he was convinced I didn't do a day of work in my life, and he was probably fairly accurate, but I never let on. But he was a good crack, and he did drink too much. And but he was always generous with his drink and stuff like that, and so he was a solid guy, really.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Oh, thanks. I think we have a chat. Okay. Someone else had raised their hand. Karen. Karen, if you see the hand icon there, if you want to share, please feel free.
Yeah, hi. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, hi. I've known Alf, Joan, Alan, Colin, Ray for many years from judo over here in the UK, probably around 1970. I always remember Alan as, he was up there with Alf as my hero. He was scary as a kid though, to me, as a young girl. He was always so stern. But I always remember Colin as the quiet one, and Ray was always the joker. He was an amazing guy, and I had total respect for him. And I'm just so sorry that he's gone too soon. He was a lovely, lovely guy.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you. Yeah, he could be scary at times. There was one time our dad used to like to torture us in little ways. Yeah, telling Aaron that the wasabi at the sushi bar was guacamole when he was 5 or 6.
Hiding the Chinese food.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Escorpión.
having watched The Exorcist at age 5, you know what I mean, just to see what it would do. I think I was 6 the first time I watched Arachnophobia with him. And I was so terrified that at like, must have been like 10 o'clock in the morning or something, I woke him up and told him that I'm having scary dreams. And he goes, "Oh, darling, it's okay. Come sleep with me." So I get in the bed and I can't sleep, and I'm looking at the ceiling, and I swear to God, I'm seeing fucking spiders everywhere. So I wake him up again. Dad, there's a spider over there in the corner of the room. He goes, oh, and he's completely asleep. And he goes and grabs a stick or a broom, and he just is going like this on the ceiling. I felt so bad for him. I said, "You got it." He came back to bed, but I'll never forget that for as long as I live. It was his fault.
You made me watch it. I don't know nightmares about it anymore, but I still remember it. I think I was about 5 years old also, and I wanted to watch a vampire movie. And it was, I don't really remember what it was called, but it was vampires on roller skates. And I just had nightmares for like 5 years of these vampires on rollerblades chasing me around our cul-de-sac. And I'm not really scared of vampires anymore, but as a little kid, that was pretty fucked up. Really.
Yeah. Good time.
I don't remember. I don't know.
We didn't get the pleasure of meeting Alan too many times, but I remember he obviously came to our wedding as well, which was really grateful for, coming all the way sort of from the US. I know it was sort of instinct with work, but he made the effort to come to our wedding sort of thing, which we really, really appreciated. Yeah. And I remember one time when he came over, we went back to his hotel and there was a bar, and I think it's the only time I've ever known somebody to order a Long Island iced tea for the table, just to pass around. Like, we all had our own drinks, he ordered one for the table just to pass around about. But yeah, so that was one thing we'll never forget, is that I've never experienced that before.
No one else has bought a drink for the table before.
People buying rounds of shots, yeah, but I've never known somebody to buy a cocktail for the middle of the table.
You didn't want to drink alone.
I remember this one time he came over, once again, same as James, like we unfortunately didn't get to meet Alan as much as we wanted to. But when he came over, he's like, when Rachel came over as well, he's like, you need to go to an Indian. You need to go to an Indian. Apparently that's all he raised on about, is like British Indians is like amazing compared to Americans. And he came over and he said to the waiter, look, what should I have? I like hot food, but what should I have? And I think he had a Vindaloo. And then Vindaloo came out and he tried it and he was like you can see it was a bit too hot for him, but it was like, is it if it's too hot for you, don't eat it, like we'll get you something else. And he's like, no, it's fine, I can eat it. But he was sweating throughout the whole thing and he was like, that was pretty hot. So yeah, bit larger than life, and he definitely did love his family as well. You can tell that he did everything that he could. So, but he was an amazing guy.
To comment on that, when I went to England, actually Uncle Ray took me out to Indian, and he took Ananda joined too. And Dad said, "Oh, definitely get the Vindaloo. It's not too bad. It's the best dish you'll ever have." And I think about the table, and Uncle Ray's like, "What do you want?" Alan says to get the Vindaloo. He looks at me, he's like, "The Vindaloo in England?" I think I ended up getting like the tikka masala mild, and it was still too hot, but he tried to put it up too over there. But I will say that's still the best Indian. Wherever Uncle Ray took me, was still the best Indian I've ever had in my entire life. So the place was great.
And to further touch on that, the last time I went over, I was over and I was with you, Robin, and we ordered Indian, and I was on the phone with Dad, and he said, "Oh, get the prawn vindaloo."
I remember that, yeah.
And so I ordered it, and I drank all of your milk.
It's fine. I could get more. It was all good.
He denied it afterwards. He said, "I told you not to." I said, "No, you didn't."
I was witness to that.
Yeah, thank you. I think John's got his hand up. You want to say something, John?
Yeah, a little speak if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Hi guys, can you hear me? You with me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I knew Dad from way back when. We went to the same comprehensive school back in Harlow in 1970. We both left. I think Dad left it a year later than me. I'm a year older than him. And we used to have some fun as youngsters. We used to go up and watch Spurs a lot and travel around the country on the coaches with all the chaps. And it was a different lifestyle then. He had his side of his judo, and we like to do things that lads used to do in 1970 when you went to football, if you get the drift. And we lost contact when he went to America. Never spoke to him for years, until about 4 or 5 years ago. I picked up with him on Facebook. And since that day, we spoke at least one night a week before we went to bed. Two old guys having a chat and a moan, all about health, the old days. I mean, the old days stories, we could go on forever. He even went on to Google places where we've been in the past and where this fight happened and this situation and this, that, and the other. We was different people back in them days. But when I got contacted with Alan again a few years ago, he'd done so well for himself, unbelievable. And the work that he did, he was never worried about. He just loved his kids so much, man. It was unbelievable. And a couple of years ago, he promised he was coming over, and we hooked up. And with his mum, Joan, my missus, and a few of my daughters and two of my sons, we all went out for a meal. And what a meal and what a day that was. And when we left the meal, I dropped Joan off where she stays, and I dropped Al off at the Green Man in Harlow, where he was staying. So I went home. By now it's about 8 o'clock. About 10 o'clock at night, there's a knock on my door. It was Alan. He bought me a new walking stick, and he forgot to give it to me. And it was made out of redwood, hand carved, brought all the way from Peru. What a guy! The guy was so kind and so generous. I just couldn't believe what he was like. And even the bill in the bar, he paid all for everybody, you know. And I say, no, you shouldn't do that. And he had that way, like all you guys are saying, he's so generous, such a generous guy. But every night, I'd love to send some of the stories that myself and Alan shared over the last few years to Ray maybe. They'd like to read some of that. You know, some of the things from the past, well, aren't too bad, but you could have a bloody good laugh reading them.
I would love that.
Yeah, it's sadly going to be missed. I spoke to the guy on Christmas Day, and he told me about the hospital and how bad things were with his oxygen and his COPD, and it's heartbreaking, man. I could not believe it. I mean, we spoke, and he said in his last message to me, if I make it, I make it. If I don't, shit happens. You know? 2 days later, the guy's passed away. And it's so hard to take, like it is for everybody else that worked with him, knew him, family. And so many people in the hometown have been contacting me, asking me, what's happening with the Zoom? I'd love to speak to some of the family and some of his friends. And it's been awesome listening to you guys, really awesome. And I'm recording this so I can show this to a few of the guys that either can't get on Zoom or whatever. Yeah, I must say thank you so much for letting me come in with you. And if anyone wants to ever hear a story with me, contact me on Facebook. And there's so much that me and Alan did back in the 70s, man, you wouldn't believe it. You know, he was a different person then, and we had so many fun times. But I'll let someone else talk now because I'll waffle on forever.
We'll definitely take you up.
God bless you, Ray.
We would love to hear stories, both of us. So thank you so much, John. We appreciate it.
If ever you want to speak, Ray, get on my Facebook. You'll find me, and we can have a chat if you like about that. That's fine, if you don't mind. I'd love that.
I love that.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You take care, guys, and take me off now and let someone else have a speak, yeah?
Thanks, John.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Hi. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect. I can hear you.
Yeah. My name's Diane, and this is my husband James, and we live in Harlow, where your dad lived. We've known your dad since way back, since you were how old?
15.
15. And it's a bit of a sliding doors moment. I think you knew Ray. I actually put it on Facebook. But your dad was the person who put us two together. I was going on a blind date, and I knew Alan, knew all the crowd. We used to go into the town in the Willow Beauty. A lot of the guys on here will know the Willow, sorry, not the Willow Beauty, the Painted Lady. And one of my friends at school said, I had no boyfriend at the time, and I'm going to set you up for a blind date. And I said, okay, cool. So I had to meet this guy, went out onto the road, walked up towards where your dad lived at Barnmead. I lived in Kingsland. And I walked up the road, and who should be coming down the road but your dad? And he said, Diane, what are you doing? And I said, I've got a blind date, with my friend and this guy. And he went, you don't want to go out with him? He said, don't go out with him. He said, come with me and Max, and we go to the lady. And I said, no, I can't let she's my best friend. I can't let her down. No, you're not going. So he said to me, come this way, went along, met all the guys in the Painted Lady in the public bar, which is the place to go in those days. So he said, I'm meeting Max, you come and have a drink and everything. So I went in the pub, had a drink, and gradually everyone started leaving. Obviously, it was a Saturday, it was a Friday night, Saturday night, so everyone started to leave. And it ended up that me and my husband was left, my husband to be. And that night he said, do you want to come to the pictures? And I said, yeah, okay. And it was King Boxer, if anyone remembers that far back. Was it 1972, 1973? And if it wasn't for that sliding doors moment, we may never have got together. This is 42 years. And, you know, I used to fight when he went to America just after we went to him and Maxine's wedding, didn't we? Yeah. And it was in the hot summer 1976. And it was the only wedding reception that had ice. Because we went to another wedding reception on that night. Yeah. And we all left, including the bride and groom of the wedding reception we went to go to Alan and Maxine's wedding because they had ice. So we all went to their wedding reception, including Steve and Jackie, who got married that day. And they all went to a party back to the Venables, didn't they?
That's right.
Billy Venables. Massive big party we had up there. Loads and loads of great memories. But, you know, when I look back at that time, you know, that's it. Yeah. And that's it. Choked. So I can't say anymore. Love you guys.
Thank you. You know, it's a good thing he kidnapped you and he was so stubborn.
That's what it's like. You wouldn't take no for an answer. You know what it's like? No, I'm not going, you're coming with me. And I went, oh, okay. And then after that, my friend never spoke to me. I never spoke to her again after that. So, you know, why could you leave me like that? I was there with my, I think it was her boyfriend who she later married. It was his brother. So never spoke to me again after that. So anyway, their loss. Funny story. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Diane.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get to you now. You should say, how much your £1,000?
No, that's a little space.
John smile.
It's really nice hearing all these different accounts too from our perspective, you know. Obviously we didn't know our dad in the 70s. So nice insight.
Did you win this bloody thing? I don't know. I don't know how you get on. Hi lads, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Peter, his cousin. I've got a few stories, not for here. Yeah, unfortunately, no, lads, they're not. Last time I come over, I was drinking large quantities of cocktails in your kitchen when you was fighting with your dad. Play fighting, I must add, not seriously. Took us out to some nice bars. I don't think he was into sushi then. I think it was more alcohol at the time I visited. I've got a picture here. I must dig it out. He's just surrounded on a table, and then we've got a load of drinks and some straws. He was trying to see how many he could drink in one go. Yeah, we used to go out in East London when he used to come down and visit us. And at the times, like most people, we used to get into some trouble. So I thought I'd take him to a pub, nice quiet pub. We'd just sit down, we'll have a nice drink, no trouble. We'd got our pint. We sat down. We was there 2 minutes. Not very nice, but someone staggered in from the other bar and had his throat cut. He was walking through. Oh, I've been stabbed. Alan's looked at me and he went, can I not go anywhere with you without any trouble? And it was just, it's just no matter where we went, but they're fond memories. They are really fond memories. And he will be missed. Big person, big heart, and he's going to leave a big hole for everyone. I don't want to go on too much because, yeah. Thank you.
I think Warwick's got his hand up.
Yeah, hi guys. I used to, I worked with Alan for a few years. I'm based up in Cheshire in the UK. And all I can say about Alan, he was a rum bugger. I mean, what he got me to do once Jim made a comment about him doing some training down in Gatwick. Well, I was joining him on that training session, so I had to drive down. But as Ray was saying about being the taxi driver, he somehow managed to persuade me to swing via Harlem where he was visiting family. So my journey going down south was having to go the opposite way around the M25. Now, obviously, if you're from the UK, you know, the M25 is not the best thing to do, but you know, you just couldn't say no to Alan. You know, every time I went over to the States, his love of sushi, he always wants to take me out. And I can't stand sushi, but because I couldn't say no to him, being the English gentleman that I am, it took some of his work colleagues to actually mention to him that you do realise that Warwick doesn't like sushi, and he still took me out there and made me. But like Jim was saying, you know, he spends $200 easily on lunch for sushi, and you know, he was a brilliant guy, you know, and like everyone has said, is he had a way of saying things, and it was either his way or the highway. So I got on well with him. You know, having that English connection, I think he always enjoyed having someone over in the States, that English connection. He tried to take me to sort of like his local pubs that he called out there. Again, the whole curry thing, you know, that it was all Alan, and he was a brilliant guy. And yeah, just when I heard the news, it was one of those you just didn't expect it. And yeah, it was sad that I couldn't get out there last year, because normally I'd go over every year just to sort of I was working with them, with Alan and his company, sort of with their aviation certifications and stuff, set up some good projects. He would always email me wanting advice and helping, you know, set up stuff. I got to meet all his friends. Ray, I met you. You know, we went out a few times. You know, and he was so generous. He always invited me out everywhere. We always did loads of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna miss the guy.
Thanks, Warwick. Well, I'm not sure if anyone else wants to say anything. I think a lot of us.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, Cedric. I'm Cedric.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you can see me? No.
Yes, we can see you too.
Okay, because you have some problem with the internet connection, but we try, and finally we are here. So I here with my wife, Clarissa.
Hello.
And Alan was a very good friend. I met myself, Alan, for the first time. It was recent. It was in 2011. And we had some beer, of course, on the boulevard here in Iquitos. And directly we had a very good friendship. And what I remember from Alan is, yeah, we wanted to drink the whole day, but also his culture and about music. He was really fan of David Bowie, of the Beatles. And several times we were at the big halls to listen music, also English music. He was always annoying me with my French accent that you can hear it, no? So he liked it to annoy me, but it was a really good friend, really important for us. He was the maid in during our wedding in 2014, and we had really good contact. And till also during this period, it was really difficult during Christmas because he was always organizing a Christmas dinner. He was really generous, always inviting us, always taking care of us. And my wife Clarissa did know him before me, a long time ago. ¿Cuándo fue que conocí a Alan?
Ay, muy joven.
When she was at the university. And so for us, it's really a big loss. And we are really proud that we had him in our life, and we will do everything to help now, Ray and Aaron, to help Alisa also, and to have good memories of him. And we love you.
I love you too. Thanks, Cedric.
Cedric.
Views of people doing bits in their house here.
So, real quick, if I may, one thing I just wanted to kind of discuss real quick is me and Alan agreed on a lot of things. One thing we couldn't agree on is football. So for some reason he kept calling soccer football, and I kept having to correct him. And he kept talking about goal scoring. I kept talking about the real football, American football. And I think I'll give him this one time. We'll go ahead and go with soccer then. So just wanted to bring that up. That was something that I knew would always push his buttons. So if I wanted to distract him a little bit or get him off topic, I would just bring up football.
We had that debate for, I don't know, 18 years. I never won, and then I just gave it to everybody. So.
Yeah. But really, I loved your dad. He was a great guy, and I'm really going to miss him. So.
I'm not sure. I think pretty much everybody has spoken.
Should we wrap it? I guess we're just gonna do it one more last call. We didn't really have too much planned. We knew Alan wanted to. He would kill us for crying. Anyone being sad here, to be honest. But as we know, Alan, he always wanted to be the center of attention, and he always wanted to have a good time. So I got my composure a little bit back. I want to thank you guys all for coming here. It means a lot. Really, this is tough. So for everybody. So especially with the COVID and Zoom and Ray and my lack of technical experience, but we appreciate the stories recorded. We'll have this for the rest of our lives. So I want to give us extreme. I'm not talented with this, so I want to say thanks to Ray. She made that whole video herself. Thanks, Ray. Made that whole video himself. It's bitching, you know what I mean? And I couldn't even watch it until today because Ray and I handle these things totally differently. I'm like
Block it out.
Block it out. And then I just go crazy and go to gymnast today. But that was tough to see. But that was brilliant. So thanks a bunch, bro. That was dope. And then I guess just any final ones before we wrap it up. I want again, thanks for everything. What time heals all essentially, but he'll always be with us. I can't even listen to the Beatles anymore, or Bowie or anything. I just and hopefully in time, the English tea, the English breakfast, Christmas morning, waking up and a full heart attack, just a pound of fat and throw the eggs right in there. I'm gonna miss all that shit. But he'd want us to be happy and move on and keep the good with the bad. And by bad, I mean being like 12 years old and paying me $20 to eat a monkey hand in Peru. So.
There's proof of that too, by the way.
I have, my dad was my best friend. Period. Sometimes he was a shit. Wasn't always the ideal parent in every situation. He was my best friend. So it's gonna suck, and I think Alan had probably 100 best friends. Again, thank you guys all for coming. Cedric, thanks for everything. I'm not gonna do all individual shout outs, but I have to do them all. But Ira, thanks for everything you've done for my dad for the last forever. He didn't deserve that shit. So huge appreciation for that. Nana, I love you with all my heart. I'm gonna do everything I can to see you.
We're gonna
son.
come and see you when we can.
You.
Ray, Aaron, we just wanted to chime in and say we love you guys.
Yes, we do.
We miss your dad. Your
Very
dad never forgot to leave a comment or write us to see how we were doing. And he was a great man. He still is a great man. And Ray, you already know that's your best friend. You already know he's with you 24/7 with music. So don't give up.
Yes.
You're so talented and you know this. Your dad knows this. You're amazing. Don't give up. This is the time. Take your music, go far. You know this. Aaron, we love you. This is a huge loss. I'm so sorry. Your dad was one of a kind and he was really awesome. It was always a good time. So we just want, this has been awesome to see all you guys from the UK and hear your stories. This has been amazing.
Very amazing.
I'm so glad we're able to do this and
Yes.
hear all of that. It just reminds me of who he was when I was around him as well.
Yes.
Goofy, funny,
Always funny
to
and
the
happy.
point. But thank you so much for doing this, Ray and Aaron. Thank you guys so much. And we love you so much. And if you need anything, we're here
for you.
We're here.
That means a lot to both of us. Thank you.
Of course. Yes.
Thank you both.
Ira, I just want to say we've never met, but I've heard a lot about you from Alan. So you were obviously a big part of his life. I just wanted to let you know he would talk about you guys all the time. So just thank you for being a friend to him.
I haven't said anything because I haven't felt like I could keep it together, but I worked with Alan for the last 8 or 9 years and he truly became my best buddy at work. As everyone said, there's nobody more stubborn than Alan, but he had the biggest heart and was really just a big teddy bear. I love the guy.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I think unless anybody else wants to say anything, like I haven't yet, we're gonna wrap it up at this point because this is hard for all of us.
I want to say something. Am I in the car?
I don't know because
I'll move a little bit.
Okay. Hey, I'm Rhonda. So I met Alan when I was.
it's okay. It's okay.
And I loved him with all my heart in the beginning. And I was married to him for 2 years. We had our good times and we had our bad times. But he gave me these two. So he gave me the best gift ever. That's all.
It wasn't just 27 years. Every time my dad had an accident or was in the hospital, my mom was there. It didn't end. So there were bad and good times, but the love was always still there. Yeah, she was always there for my dad.
Side note, we put up Alan's Facebook. So Ray and I have access to it. We just shut it down for a little bit because I don't really know why. But if you guys ever want to see pictures or anything like that, or if you ever want to chime to reach out to Ray and I, you can reach us on obviously Instagram or Facebook, or we both have access to his Instagram or Facebook, Instagram or something, Instagram or Facebook, but we have access to his too. And it's cool to go on there with completely inappropriate videos and read some of his comments. John, I've read all your guys' shit, so I spent like 2 days just reading things. But I appreciate that friendship you guys gave to my dad. I mean, you guys all made him complete too. So I appreciate it all. Cedric and Ira, thanks for being my dad's best friends. So Jim, thanks for giving my dad a job. You know, Uncle Ray, Uncle Colin, yeah. Mitchell, James, love you guys. Miss you. Hopefully we can get out there and see everybody. I want family in England. And $200 for dad is night. We're talking $350.
It was nothing. Got out easy if the bill was 200. You should have seen it when Aaron and Dad were sushi together. It was like ridiculous. Sometimes you say, "Oh, Ira's got this time, don't you, Ira?"
That's it. We didn't really have honestly, this was awesome. This is everything we could have hoped for. We didn't want to do the whole sad stuff, but this was, it's sad. We lost Alan, but the stories are awesome. And honestly, guys, if you guys are ever missing him, send him a message on Instagram and tell me one of those stories you didn't feel like
was appropriate.
I would love to read the hell out of it. I read that whole story. I've read them all, so I can get into them. But we appreciate it. We look forward to it, and hopefully we can link up. Cedric, I hope to come out and see you again soon. Clarissa, miss you guys. But yeah, that key. He's 13.
It's the Sinfield gene that we didn't get. Oh. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna close it out.
Yeah.
Any final words? Otherwise, that's it. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, and also I want to thank my friend Heather for being here as a support to me. Heather knew my dad for a long time too, so just having that support, thanks, dude, means a lot.
Robin, you look beautiful as always.
Huh?
You look beautiful as always.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. We love you guys. Thank you all for being here.
Hello.
Love you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Nana,
I see her blonde kiss.
that phone call for 5 minutes was $66. So we gotta figure out on WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook. Otherwise, I don't know how to do it. Figure that out so we can have a Have a good one.